Ladies and gentlemen, dear delegates, chairs, teachers, welcome to the closing ceremony of FOSCAMUN 2024. This incredible experience is coming to an end. The road was long and winding, but it was worth it. For the organization of this FOSCAMUN, we came across numerous difficulties, but thanks to our synergy and the effectiveness of teamwork, we were able to overcome them. With the ambition of the whole team, students and teachers organizing board, delegates and chairs, our principal and the school administration, we were able to achieve an amazing event. Without doubt, my first thanks go to the chairs and delegates who, through their efforts, made this FOSCAMUN possible. My personal thanks go to the principal, Alessandra Artusi, for the long time she sustained us. To the accounts and purchasing department that helped us to organize the project in so many ways. To the cooks, the seamstress, the auxiliary staff, laundry, and technicians who have spent a great deal of energy to meet our needs. I want to thank all the teachers that invested a lot of time and dedication towards the realization of this FOSCAMUN, and Ms. Caprani for leading the organization. To all of you, board, delegate, chairs, teachers, and others present, please let me share with you this African proverb that I believe originated in Burkina Faso, but applies perfectly to FOSCAMUN, and I would say even to all of humanity. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Finally, my deepest gratitude goes to my amazing co-workers, Asia, Celeste, and Matilde. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience and dedication to our project. These days, we have been very satisfied to see the results of our hard work and sacrifices. I sincerely hope we can set an example for the students who will have our roles in the future. Now, without further ado, let's move on to this year's awards ceremony. It is important to point out that all the delegates and chairs have given them their best during the debate, showing interest, diplomacy, and diligence. But in each committee, there have been some who have shown more than others. Please note, those who receive an award are kindly requested not to leave the hall after the closing ceremony is over so that we can take pictures. Now, please welcome the chair of the Security Council Committee to present their awards.
Honorable Board, dear teachers, fellow chairs, dear delegates, and everyone present. It is an indescribable honor for us to be standing here speaking to you all. The challenge put before the delegates of the Security Council for the 10th edition of FOSCAMUN was not a simple one, defining measures to prevent international cybercrime. First of all, one of the main difficulties in dealing with this topic is its novelty. Cybercrime, as we know it, is a relatively recent phenomenon. After all, the first notable act that could be reasonably considered a cybercrime only took place in 1988. Additionally, thanks in great part to its uniqueness, Cybercrime lacks a uniform definition across the jurisdiction of states. It varies from one state to the next, which will inevitably lead to difficulties between delegates trying to discuss this topic. And as if this wasn't enough, the delegates of the Security Council had to sift through a number of possible resolutions and proposals and had to examine many aspects of this topic. These different factors, among others, all contribute to making international cybercrime a very pressing matter to resolve, but also one that is not easy to debate. Our ability to adapt to our ever-changing world fundamentally hinges on our ability to cooperate with each other when dealing with topics such as this one. This is why we are so deeply proud of our delegates who proved their worth and managed to reach a common ground despite the issues inherent to the topic. Thank you, delegates, for working so hard to get to this point and for managing to foster such a sense of community in us. We would all like to also thank the Secretariat, all the members of the board, our coordinators, our teachers, our fellow chairs, our technicians and our ushers, and everyone else for making this all possible. I believe that I speak on behalf of all of us when we say that FOSCAMUN has allowed us to make many friendships and to live many experiences that we will not soon forget, which is why I am so very sad this has to be the last FOSCAMUN I and many others will take part in. Now, we come to the part we've all been anticipating. We want everyone to know that choosing who to give the awards to was not an easy task, and we did not take it lightly. We cannot stress this enough. That being said,
for our second honorable mention, we would like to award someone who demonstrated a deep knowledge and understanding of the topic, and always contributed to the debate by bringing out new points and moving the discourse to the significant points that ultimately shaped the resolution. The delegate of South Korea, James Franco.
For our first honorable mention, we want to award someone who showed great initiative and intervened in a helpful, efficient, and impactful manner in all circumstances and never backed down from helping other delegates participate and leave a mark in the debate. Our great delegate of the UK, Avi Soin.
and lastly, we are proudly award a delegate who took every opportunity to excel in defending their country despite all the opposition it faced. Delegate who clearly showed profound interest in this project and the structure of the Security Council and the United Nations. Our brilliant delegate of the Russian Federation, Alberto Alexander.
Thank you, chairs of the Security Council. Please welcome the chair of the UN Women Committee to present their awards.
Good afternoon, delegates, chairs, teachers, guests, board, and everyone present. such an honor to be here. Guaranteeing the right to motherhood in conditions favorable to women's self-determination. The topic we examined this year was not an easy one. Motherhood encompasses so many subtopics that influence the lives of women in so many different ways that at first we did not even know where to start. But then the idea started to flow, and it was difficult. No one can deny that, sadly, women, and especially mothers, find themselves in a difficult position, carrying out certain types of unpaid work, such as taking care of children and fulfilling domestic duties, facing challenges in order to balance their work and family life, being the object of discrimination also in the workplace. These are just some of the obstacles mothers find before them almost every day, almost every day. This obstacle we are trying to overcome takes the name of motherhood penalty. It can be noticed in several aspects of the life, the economic, social, and private one. It is thus clear why motherhood influences the self-determination of women in such a prominent manner. And it is also clear that the UN Women Committee will do its best to help us. This is my third year working in this committee, and it is also my third year taking part in this committee as a member of the chair this time. I must say, delegates from the UN Women Committee were just amazing. With such a important topic, they managed to analyze every aspect carefully while being both diplomatic and enthusiastic. I couldn't have wished for a better committee to be the president of in my last year of FOSCAMUN. It was an experience I will never forget, and I am sure everybody will with me. And since the UN Women Committee is the committee that advocates for women's rights, I just wanted to say one last thing. Look at all the girls and women who worked on this amazing project. Delegates, chairs, teachers, headmaster, Celeste, Matilde, and all the other girls who board. One could say, well, that doesn't matter. It is just a small project anyways. I don't think it is just that. People tell us, the younger generation, that we are the future, and whether we like it or not, it is indeed true. But if this is our present, I am confident the future will finally show the improvement we all wish for. Thank you. Well, thank you. And now, the words.
Delegate, you contributed greatly to the debate with your participation, your attention to the other delegates, and your enthusiasm. You have made the debate more for the delegate honorable mention. Congratulations, Isabella Bell.
Delegate, what we appreciated the most was the attention and the interest you dedicated in researching the topic and the position of your country, which was very complex. The effort you put in this was extremely remarkable, and we all thank you for it. Congratulations for the first honorable mention. We rewarded the delegation of the United States of America, Ying Ting Zhang.
And now, the best delegate. Delegate, thank you for keeping the debate going, for always asking the other delegations for their opinions, proving to be diplomatic and respectful of the votes of others, and for backing up your speech with relevant quotes, not even that you expected. Congratulations, Democratic Republic of Congo, and thank you.
Thank you, Chair of the UN Women Committee. Now it is the turn of the UNEP Committee. Please welcome the chairs to present their awards.
Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, what an honor to be here. This year, the United Nations Environment Program Committee has discussed a very important topic, the environmental and social impact of the fast fashion industry. This is such a current topic that has a huge impact on our lives. Did you know that the carbon emissions of this country accounts for 10% of the global share? More than the ones emitted by the aviation and shipping sector together. Did you know that 60% of the people employed in the fast fashion sector are children? Did you know that the fast fashion worker gets paid 3 euros for a 12-hour work shift? Do you understand now? When you buy a t-shirt, this is what you're buying. Pollution and exploitation. There's a hidden cost behind that t-shirt that you bought. The true cost of fast fashion. This issue is not something far from us. It is not abstract. We can make a difference. Our choices make the difference. And this is what I hope our delegates have learned during FOSCAMUN. Not only information, data, statistics about their countries, but a lesson, a life lesson, something that they can bring, share, and carry out in their personal lives. The ability of being conscious consumers. I want to thank our committee for their amazing job, my delegates who have put so much effort on this debate and cooperated successfully. And lastly, I want to thank my wonderful chair, my vice president, Miss Vega Bressanello, and my moderator, Miss Benedetta Cerato, who have always been by my side during this project. It is now time for me to announce the winners of our awards. But before, please remember that prizes, scores, numbers do not define who you are, who you will be, and your value. This said, as president of the UNEP committee, I am excited to announce that the second honorable mention goes to a delegate who has put so much effort on this project, has shown interest and great diplomacy.
Good job, delegation of Pakistan. Samuel Cohen.
The first honorable, oh, sorry. The first honorable mention goes to a delegate who has put so much passion on this topic, who has been a great figure for this committee and has tried their best to find common solution in this controversial.
This award goes to the delegation of Bangladesh, Katerina Molinari Paderno.
And lastly, the Best Delegate Award goes to a delegate who has shown great determination, teamwork, and has stood out for their knowledge on the topic and a particular care for the environment. We are talking about the delegation of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Thank you, chairs of the UNEP committee. Please welcome the chair of the OHCHR committee to present their awards.
Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, Principal, teachers, distinguished delegates, fellow chairs, and all the people present here in this ceremony. Good afternoon. Today, 32 countries during the General Assembly have agreed with the final resolution made by the delegation of OHCHR committee, who have worked assiduously for 3 days to achieve a comprehensive review of the optional protocol against torture. Throughout history, torture has been employed as a tool of power, oppression, and fear. A heinous violation of human rights, which inflicts immeasurable physical and psychological pain on individuals, is still compromising the true essence of our shared humanity. Nowadays, torture has been detected in 61 countries, 54 of which committed through official jurisdictions, following Amnesty International data. Without considering domestic torture, such as sexual abuse, and criminal organization torture. It is for these many reasons that a deep review of the optional protocol has been necessary to recognize the pre-existence of this human right against torture and to guarantee it in order to build a future where cruelty has no place in our world. In conclusion, the chair would like to congratulate all the delegates for the effort they all have put in order to find a resolution to this tough issue. Thank you all. I now yield the word to the moderator.
great honor indeed. Congratulations.
The first honorable mention goes to a delegate who, throughout the whole debate, has shown incredible knowledge of the topic, the language, and the protocol, and has distinguished themselves for their brilliant diplomacy. It's with great pleasure that we assign the first honorable mention to the delegation of Yemen.
And now, the best seller. Thanks to your outstanding diligence, perseverance, collaboration with your fellow delegation, dedication and respect of the protocol throughout all the sessions, it is our pleasure to give you the award of Best Delegate. Delegation of China, Anna Gabriela Constantino.
Thank you, chairs of the OHCHR committee. Now please welcome the chairs of the French committee to present their awards. UNESCO.
Honorable secrétaire général, honorable vice-secrétaire général et tous les membres du corps, honorables collègues, chers invités. Cette année a été un grand plaisir pour moi de représenter le président du comité de l'UNESCO. Après 2 ans délégués dans les mêmes comités, UNESCO est pour moi désormais une famille. Le thème de cette année de l'UNESCO est favoriser une utilisation éthique et responsable de l'intelligence artificielle. Comme vous pouvez imaginer, ce sujet est encore à présent une controverse, une machine qui agit comme un homme. Nos délégués ont en effet débattu de l'objectivité de l'IA. Les préjugés sont-ils basés sur l'IA ou l'IA est-elle basée sur des préjugés? En outre, l'intelligence artificielle touche un grand nombre de domaines, tels que les changements climatiques, l'économie, la santé, le chômage, l'éducation, la sécurité. Au cours de la discussion de chaque scrutin, l'engagement de nos délégués a éclairé toutes les difficultés et contradictions qui caractérisent cette question complexe. Par exemple, en parlant de changement climatique, devrons-nous analyser l'effet qu'il y a besoin de beaucoup d'énergie et de matériaux et contribuer au changement climatique, ou l'effet qu'elle pourrait être utilisée comme outil pour prévenir les changements climatiques? Nos délégués se sont questionnés pour trouver des réponses, des solutions communes. Ils sont essayés d'abattre les barrières et les obstacles créés par les différentes positions politiques qu'ils représentent, de créer un document unique de résolution capable de rassembler toutes les nécessités et les réponses à toutes les difficultés auxquels chaque délégation doit faire face. Nous sommes si fiers de vous tous. Tout le monde a participé et a trouvé sa place dans le débat. Je voudrais aussi remercier la vice-présidente, Madame Maria Fiore Vianello, la modératrice, pour toujours m'appuyer et soutenir. Honorable Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, and all members of the board, honorable colleagues, fellow delegates, distinguished guests. This year has been a great pleasure for me to represent the President of the UNESCO Committee. After 2 years being a delegate in this committee, UNESCO is family. The topic of this year of UNESCO is promoting an ethical and responsible use of artificial intelligence. As you can imagine, this topic itself represents a controversy, a machine which acts as a man. Our delegates, in fact, debated about the objectivity of artificial intelligence. Are the prejudices based on artificial intelligence, or is artificial intelligence based on prejudice? Furthermore, artificial intelligence affects a large number of domains, such as climate change, economy, health, unemployment, education, security, and cybersecurity. During the discussion of each subtopic, the engagement of our delegates enlightened all the difficulties and contradictions that characterize this complicated issue. For example, speaking of climate change, should we analyze the fact that artificial intelligence needs a lot of energy and material to contribute to climate change, or the fact that it could be used as a tool to prevent climate change? Our delegates engaged in questioning themselves, searching for answers, common solutions. They tried to go over the barriers and obstacles created by the different political positions they represent to create a unique paper of resolution capable of collecting all the necessities and answers to all the difficulties that each delegation has faced. I want to thank the Vice President, Maria Fiore Ganello, and the moderator, for always supporting me. We are so proud of you all. Everyone participated and found his space in the debate. However, we can give only 3 hours, and it was very difficult for us to decide who deserved it most. The second honorable mention goes to the delegate who most can persuade everyone with words, who with her emphasized speech won the attention of all our visitors and colleagues. Bien joué, la délégation de la Fédération de The first honorable mention goes to the delegation who could guide the debate and address at his own interests.
Bien fait, délégation des Émirats Arabes Unis.
And and thank you. And in drawing things to a close, the best
UNESCO committee goes to the delegation which has struggled most since the beginning of this project, to want every debate to be always in the first line, to open most of the motions and wanting to grow always more. Bien joué, délégation de l'Iran.
Thank you, chairs of the Thank you, chairs of the UNESCO committee. Now, the chairs of the Spanish committee, WHO, will present their awards.
Buenas tardes a todos. Estoy muy contenta de presentarles nuestro tópico y de compartir con ustedes una pequeña reflexión, un pensamiento que se refiere a él. Nuestro tópico, implementar medidas para combatir la adicción a los dispositivos electrónicos, mezcla dos temas realmente importantes, la adicción y el mundo de las nuevas tecnologías. A nivel mundial, el número de jóvenes, pero no solo, que demuestran tener trastornos y enfermedades físicas y psicológicas causada por el uso excesivo de dispositivos electrónicos, continúa aumentando. Estamos hablando de situaciones muy preocupantes, como tumores, trastornos sociales, ansiedad, trastornos alimenticios y síndromes, como la FOMO. Una adicción de verdad. Y lo que más nos debería preocupar es que se trate de una adicción quizás demasiado cercana a cada uno de nosotros. ¿Por qué? ¿Quién no considera su móvil una presencia fundamental en su vida? Las ventajas de los dispositivos electrónicos son muchas, pero, como nuestros delegados han especificado brillantemente, están entrando tanto en nuestra vida cotidiana de una manera tan impactante que para algunos es demasiado difícil gestionar su presencia y demasiado fácil perder el control, cayendo en un vórtice del que es difícil salir. Por lo tanto, es necesario que los padres, las instituciones públicas, las escuelas y el gobierno tomen medidas para educar a los jóvenes y hacer frente a la situación. Antes de empezar la entrega de los premios, quería agradecer a estas chicas que ven a mi lado, que desde noviembre me han acompañado en esta aventura, Sofía Pastrura y Matilde Libratis. Entre nosotras se ha creado... Entre nosotras se ha creado una hermosa relación profesional que con el paso del tiempo se convirtió en una hermosa amistad. También quería dar las gracias a nuestra profesora Esther Artigas, que nos ha apoyado durante todo este camino, estando siempre a nuestro lado y representando una figura de referencia para nosotros tres. Termino agradeciéndoles a todos los delegados de nuestra comisión. He iniciado esta experiencia con el objetivo de poder representar para ellos una guía, una fiel amiga con la que confrontarse por cualquier problema y a la que pedir ayuda en caso de necesidad. Espero haber logrado el intento. Good afternoon to you all. I'm very happy to present our topic and to share with you a little thought about it. Our topic mixes two really important themes, addiction and new technology. Globally, the number of young people, but not all, who have physical and psychological diseases and illnesses caused by the excessive use of electronic devices continues to increase. We are talking about a real addiction, and the thing that should worry us most is that this addiction perhaps is too close to each of us, because Who does not consider the mobile phone fundamental presence in their lives? The advantages of electronic devices are innumerable, but as our delegates have brilliantly specified, they are entering our daily lives so impactfully that for some is too difficult to manage their presence and too easy to lose control, falling into a vortex from which it is difficult to get out. There is therefore a need for parents, public institutions, schools, and the government to take measures to educate young people and tackle the situation. Before I start to give the award, I wanted to thank these two girls that used to near me, who since November had accompanied me in this adventure. Sofia Boscura and Matilde Nicoletti. Between us, a beautiful professional relationship has been created, but over time, it has converted into beautiful friendship. I also wanted to thank our Professor Esther Diaz, who supported us throughout this journey, always being at our side and representing a reference figure for three of us. I conclude by thanking all the delegates in our committee. I started this experience with the aim of being able to represent for you a guide, a faithful friend, with which to comfort any problem and to which we ask for help in case of need. I hope to be successfully in this intent. We now begin the attribution of the various awards.
The delegate who, in our opinion, deserves the second honorable mention award is the delegate who has demonstrated their constant desire to improve themselves and through their impeccable and composure and education. So the second honorable mention goes to the delegation of South Korea, Alicia Vianelli.
The, dele- the delegate.
The delegates who have our people deserve the award for first honorable mention is a delegate who has shown great commitment both in various sections, listening carefully to what was recommended to them. Therefore, the award for first honorable mention goes to the delegation of Kenya, Sofia Maria.
The delegate who, in our opinion, deserves the best delegate award is a delegate who differentiates from the other delegates because he has always followed our indication, treasured it, and often looking for us so that we could give useful advice to its improvement. And because, although frightened, has always put themselves in play. Therefore, the best delegate award goes to the delegation of Japan, Kalata.
Thank you, chairs of the WHO committee. Now please welcome the judges of the International Court of Justice who will read a summary of the verdict of the case that was tried over these 3 days.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Giovanni Masiero, and I'm the judge of the International Court of Justice for this year's edition of FOSCAMUN. I'll let my two wonderful colleagues introduce themselves as well.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm the Vice Judge.
Good afternoon, I'm the Vice Judge Filippo Martino Maria Pezzano.
I consider FOSCAMUN to be a symbol representing values such as equality, justice, freedom, and meritocracy, which are fundamental for the building of a bright future for our generation, and that we have therefore perpetuated in every decision and in every verdict we made. What a case this year! As you may know, the advocates debated over the application of the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination in the currently ongoing Armenia versus Azerbaijan case, which, despite being an intricate and delicate topic, has been discussed by the advocates with incredible competence and integrity. Both the plaintiff and the defense proved to have learned skills that go far beyond what you would expect from a regular high school student, but rather that you would look for in a real lawyer. They showed to have mastered rhetorical art and communicative abilities throughout 3 days of intense debate. And I would like to thank them all for their dedication, professionalism, and their commitment to this case. I would also like to thank the jurors who have attended all of the sessions, respectfully listening and intervening with appropriate and daily questions. And most of all, I would like to thank my beautiful, plenipotentiary, and extremely competent colleagues who have been by my side throughout this whole journey. Lastly, I would like to thank my mom and dad. Now, let's get to the moment you've all been waiting for, the declaration of the jurors' judgment. From an impartial point of view, I'll have to say that it has been a hard choice, as both parties did an excellent job, but the scales must tip to one side. And thus, I am excited to announce that the winner for the 2024 edition of FOSCAMUN is the plaintiff. The jurors therefore condemn the Republic of Azerbaijan for violating multiple peace agreements and taking part in a state protest which led to the blocking of the Lakin corridor and caused a genocide due to starvation and lack of resources and medical aid. Regarding the award, it has been a difficult choice too, but despite the wonderful job of all the advocates, 3 of them showed to be a step higher than the others.
I'm excited to announce that the second honorable mention goes to Advocate Matteo Meneguzzi Cardone.
E invece tu ricazzo che l'ho scritto. Quasi tutti. E mo dove va? No, no. Bravo. Vai. Basta. Qui intervieni sulla cosa.
So the second honorable mention, the first honorable mention goes to an advocate who ended the session with one of the best closing statements I have ever heard, who is Eva Pizzamano.
Among these three advocates, one has been unanimously declared the greatest of them all. This year's best advocate goes to Advocate Pietro Carotti. Bravo, Cassiano. Aspetta. I'm afraid we are not quite done yet, as we still need to assign the jurors.
The second honorable mention for goes
We'll just wait. Okay.
the second honorable mention for goes juror Felix Torres.
Abbiamo fatto un po' anche di università.
The first,
Vai.
the first honorable mention for the jurors, and I got it right this time, goes to juror Margherita Zini.
Additional. And lastly, the best juror of this year has been Matteo Hoffman.
Thank you, judges of the OHCHR committee. Now, the hardest choices of all, the best chairs and best committee awards. Please welcome our Secretary General, Celeste Carlesso. This year, we decided to award the chairs who work in harmony, showing the greatest commitment to the project and having been the perfect tutor to the delegates and having created a special place to welcome them. They have worked in perfect synergy with the Secretariat and created the perfect connection between the delegates and the two of us. Please welcome the chair of the WHO Committee, Sofia Pastura.
Now, for the Best Committee Award, we wanted to honor their cohesion, serenity, and team building. As a group, they gave room for everyone to voice their position. They were able to create a relaxed and stimulating environment, which broke down all barriers. They represented the spirit of FOSCAMUN that we want to preserve. Please welcome to the stage the UNESCO Committee.
That's the end of the awards ceremony. FOSCAMUN wouldn't be possible without our visiting delegates from abroad. Could the delegation from the Wassergasse Gymnasium from Vienna, Austria, come to the stage to receive their certificates? Now, delegation of Sem de Valbourg from Strasbourg.
We would like to thank all of the students who have supported with like and
Now, delegation of the Luitpold Gymnasium from Munich, Germany.
Yes.
On behalf of the Luitpold Gymnasium from Munich and the entire delegation, I would and our amazing and I would also like to thank all the delegations and committees that participated in the conference this year. This experience and opportunity has been truly memorable, and we found friendships and I hope thank you.
Now, delegation of the Shizuoka Seiko Academy from Shizuoka, Japan. Now, delegation of Colegio Carol Bohr from Querétaro, Mexico. Now, delegation of Yes Domingo Miral from Jaca, Spain.
Thank you. We want to express our best thanks to the FOSCAMUN community for inviting us and for giving us the opportunity to take part in today's event. We especially thank also to Esther Artigas for the overwhelming support of the week. And lastly, for each person in this room for being a part of this remarkable experience. We hope to meet you again here next year. Thank you.
Now, delegation of the Collegiate School from Richmond, Virginia, the United States of America.
Hello, thank you so much for your hospitality. It was lovely. It's been an amazing experience. You know, serving all teachers and staff and students who hold this thing. It's incredible. It's truly an honor and an experience for us to be here to be part of. Yes.
Now, our Italian visitors, Liceo Oberdan from Trieste. Liceo Benedetti Tommaseo from Venice.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Service, we would like to express our gratitude for inviting our students to participate in the 10th edition of FOSCAMUN. To all the students, your commitment and enthusiasm to engage in challenging and demanding tasks have made us even more passionate about our we are really, truly grateful for the valuable lessons. So again, our sincere and heartfelt thanks. With a hope to see you at the next edition. Thank you.
The Naval Military School, Francesco Morosini, from Venice. Even though FOSCAMUN is a project organized by students for students, we can't forget the great teachers who believe in us and have been working for years, helping us to realize our dreams. Please give a warm welcome to a representative of the teaching staff, Mr. McGowan.
Thank you, Giovanni, for the lovely introduction and for pronouncing my name correctly. I'm having trouble with technology at the moment. I can't get it. There we are. Oh, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, colleagues and students from home and abroad, sponsors, patrons, and families, thank you all for making this 10th edition of FOSCAMUN. You have contributed in so many different ways, because FOSCAMUN is the sum of all its parts, but each part is indispensable. Whatever role you've had in this event, thank you from the bottom of my heart. this technology is just not helping. Yeah. No. It's on some kind of different. No. Like that. Okay. Okay. Maybe I can ask it. Thank you, Principal Artusi, for trusting us. And I do hope we've shown you that this is truly a special event. And it deserves to be continued for at least another 10 years. And all my colleagues on the board, thank you for your hard work and for your tenacity. Keeping all the different aspects of this event running is no mean feat. Especially Monica Briata, Laura Galante, and Eugenio Pungitore, just to mention people from the teaching staff, and Cristina Orlandi and Emanuela Barnaba from the administrative staff. And of course, thank you, Giorgia Caprani, our Senior General Coordinator. Your experience and aplomb and your ability to stay cool, calm, and collected at all times has been just amazing. And of course, the Students' Board too. Celeste, Giovanni, Matilda, Bartolomeo, Vittoria, Emma, Rebecca, and Asia. You and your teams have all done a splendid job. Thank you so much. Any teacher will tell you that learning is not a linear process. It's something that has to be adjusted to circumstances, revisited, revised, and sometimes completely redone. I grew up in Ireland in the 1970s and 80s. The world then was very simple. Everybody was Irish, everybody was white. Everybody spoke the same language. Almost everybody was a Catholic. Everybody ate the same food. Ireland was monocultural, monochromatic, and I dare say, a very monotonous society. The world was divided into East and West. We knew who the bad guys were and we knew who the good guys were. The narrative was a kind of like in a fairy tale. Once upon a time, there was literally no critical debate. When I was in secondary school, it was not dissimilar if you read Hard Times by John Dickens. It was not dissimilar from that. Mr. Chocolate Dickens simply wanted the students to learn facts and to question nothing. So I can say I got a decent but rather weak-willed education. And perhaps in a simple scenario like the Ireland that I described, probably was enough. You could get by. But today, young people cannot afford the luxury of living in a kind of blissful ignorance. Though there are many out there that might want you to be ignorant, think of it that today, toddlers are targeted by advertising before they can learn to speak. Young people are subjected to conflicting messages and role models and values and belief systems and ethical positions. It's doing it again. No. Okay. So, from a world with not enough information, we're now in a world where there's simply too much information. And it's very hard to make any sense with today's cyber overload. Opinions are confused with facts. Judgments are handed down on the internet as if they were judge and jury. Experts are put on the same level as people who are just opinion makers and can't really boast of any qualifications whatsoever. Simply the person who can scream the loudest usually gets their message across. And this is why I believe that the modern United Nations is one of the best platforms to teach students how to think for themselves on so many different levels. And I don't mean their own self-centered opinions. I mean to think critically. Because to learn something new, you learn at best if you can actively engage with it. And nothing beats real hands-on experience. And that's what Model United Nations gives. First, from a language teacher's point of view, it's an extraordinary opportunity. They get to stand up and express their opinion in front of their peers in a language which is not their own. They face fear and frustration, which is a natural part of learning a language. And they learn that they can actually do it. Very often they just read from their position paper when they start, but it's a way of breaking the ice. We always talk about 4 essential skills in language learning, and they all have their part on Model United Nations. They also learn how to, Alessio, I'm just not good at this. They also learn how to research. And as digital natives, they really do need to know how to tackle the internet and all the digital avalanche that comes every time you hit enter on Google. I always think of Google as being, or Google, the internet as being an enormous landfill, full of incredible rubbish, with treasures buried somewhere underneath. They have to learn how to recognize reliable sources and to weigh up conflicting information. They also have the opportunity to make friends with their peers from around the world. And I hope that in this week that they've been together, they have discovered that there is much more that they have in common than anything that could possibly divide them. And then they follow the protocol. Protocol means learning the art of listening. And it may seem very stiff and impersonal at the beginning when you start learning, when you have to put your name on the speakers list, when you have to raise your placard if you want to speak, when you cannot speak if somebody says something you disagree with. But today's communication is so full of insults and people shouting at one another. It's really difficult to get to the truth, and I think it's refreshing to have a situation where everyone speaks in turn and everyone respects each other. Then, putting yourself in someone else's shoes, as Celeste said at the opening ceremony, is one very effective way to obtain broader perspective. And when you do that, it's a bit like in Plato's cave. What may have seemed like a shadow on the wall becomes a three-dimensional form. And this also means that perspectives that may have seemed obvious to you before might turn out to be false or faulty or shallow. And it's only through recognizing and appreciating different perspectives that real solutions can be achieved. Now, I'm not saying that simply by seeing things from a different perspective, you manage to solve all your problems. There will be plenty of positions that you disagree with in any case. But it is also true that we often take positions for granted. We just presume that our point of view is the correct one. The great American physicist Richard Feynman once said, "I'd rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned." He was speaking about scientific inquiry versus religion, but I think it's a motto that we should extend to any issue that involves a variety of different positions and requires taking a fresh look at things. So I hope that during your time here, you have had the opportunity to take a fresh look at some of the topics. And even if all your questions were not answered, I hope you were able to question some of the things that you had taken for granted. So, thank you.
Now, it is time to welcome here someone who made the difference in the project. She has put all her strength into the achievement of the project that she loves the most. She had covered my role in the last edition. With her skills, experience, and intelligence, she has been able to handle something so large and challenging. She was of great importance, yet she was always willing to listen and try her best to solve all issues. Next year, she will not be here in FOSCAMUN with Celeste, me, and the other students, but she will always be remembered as an essential part of the project. Please welcome our marvelous Junior General Coordinator, Asia Yovezan.
Dear Dear delegates, chairs, faculties, principal, and general coordinator. It's a great emotion to be here, standing in front of you for the second year, representing the organizing staff of FOSCAMUN 2024. These past months have been intense, but all our efforts have assured this amazing result. We are all aware that teamwork and collaboration are essential to such an event. As every group, we had to overcome obstacles, but thanks to the enterprise of who really cares and believes in the project, the 10th edition is coming to an end in the best way possible. My greatest thanks goes to the most important person of this project, who believe in us from the very beginning and encouraging us every single day. Thanks to her advice and also to her reprimands, we have given life to something amazing. She has been the shoulder we could lean on every time, and every time we need it, and the one that I called at 10 at night, and the one with who I solved most of the problems, and the bond that ties me and the teacher, Giorgio Caprani, is truly special. For this and for many other reasons, I want to thank her from the bottom of the heart. Everything we created wouldn't have been possible without the support of the person we relied on, our principal, Alessandra Pizzi. To you, Cristina Orlandi, Emanuela Barnaba, Carmine Aievoli, Antonella Menin, Elena Ferrata, to the canteen, Dario and Stefano, to the Rautri, Valentina, and to the whole school organizing staff that helped us whenever we needed them, a very special thank you. To all the chairs, delegates, and system, without whom everything would have been possible and would have been unrealizable. To the delegation from all around the world that allowed us to make new friends and learn about new cultures. Thank you. FOSCAMUN is this, a special occasion not only to get in contact with current international issues and to the United Nations, but also to create relationships with different nationalities and friendships that can last for years. My final and warmest thanks goes to the teachers with whom I have collaborated since September. Ms. Briata, for the organization of the activities. Ms. Laura Galante for the organization of the delegates' arrival and departure. And to Ms. Maria Eugenia Punzitore for pairings. Last but not least, I would like to thank Giovanni, who has taken my role, and Celeste. And I hope your relationship will always be important as mine with Lorenzo. I wish everyone here at the closing ceremony to feel the same emotion I'm feeling right now and the same that I felt in the past years. And finally, I would like to thank all participants today and for the whole days for making this great project possible. And finally, my last thanks to Matilde Tesle, the head of organization of FOSCAMUN 2024.
Thank you, Adi, for the kind introduction. Today is a really important day for everyone. It is the end of 4 days of hard work for all of us, and the end of a journey that began a year ago for many. It is the end of FOSCAMUN 2024, the year that closes the first 10 years of this project. FOSCAMUN is our way of interfacing with the core values guaranteed by United Nations: peace, friendship, equality, and democracy. In my view, these principles are not only the foundation of the United Nations, but also of any democratic society. At a time of global crisis, such as the one we are currently experiencing, as the promoters of these ideals, the United Nations becomes the symbol of peace and unity, by which we all should be inspired in big and small things. In carrying out this project, we have tried to adhere as closely as possible to these values recognized and protected by our country and all those who adhere to the international community. Organizing FOSCAMUN means taking on the honor of championing such principles. Such a spirit must start right from the organizational process. Only through the presence of a cohesive team is it possible not only to achieve the goals set, but also to go beyond them. In conclusion, I would like to thank everyone who took part in this project. I would like to thank the principal who trusted us from the very beginning, the teachers who have always guided us, the delegates and the chairs, without whom the whole FOSCAMUN would have not been possible, and the entire organizational team, with whom I worked with for an entire year. However, my most special thanks goes to the systems, who are one of the backbones of this project. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for deciding to work with us. I would like to, without your help, our aspirations would have only remained so. I hope FOSCAMUN has remained in your hearts as it did to us, and that this year has represented for you only a starting point. Thank you.
It is time to thank the teams who were the driving force behind this endeavor. The fundraising team, Bartolomeo Panfilo, Vittoria Scatto, Vincenzo Maria Alacqua, Giorgia Baccan, Alice Gazzetta, and Tommaso Pesce. The public relations team, Emma Folcanage, Rebecca Pesce, Amanda Basso Lisboa, Lucilla Codato, Alice Scroccaro.
When we talk about FOSCAMUN, our thoughts automatically go to the delegates and chairs who have dedicated themselves to 4 days of intense debate. What not everyone knows is that more than 130 students have worked hard to organize breaks, security, hospitality, and many other logistical aspects. I have the pleasure of calling now here to the stage the heads of the system department who have just supported me and Matilde with the organization. Please welcome Giovanni Scatto, head of technicians, Anna Zaccone, head of OHCHR, Gregorio Davanzo, head of security, Christian Pellicer, head of social, Viola Frascaroli, head of assistance, Martina Gabrielli, head of photographers. And unfortunately is not here, Eleonora Madio, head of catering. Furthermore, the logistic aspects have been managed by our co-operator. Please welcome Benedetta Tollotte, Francesco Zampieri, Emilio Cianchetti, Giovanni Rosasalva, Maddalena Succida e Margherita Davanzo.
I would also like to thank our interpreters, who at the opening ceremony really did a wonderful job, to say the least. Please welcome Pietro Frizzero, Elisabetta Piazzonetti, and Chiara Staffina. Unfortunately, we are coming to the end of the closing ceremony, so to the end of FOSCAMUN 2024. And our dear Secretary General would like to say a couple of words.
Dear delegates, chairs, and distinguished guests, good afternoon. It has been 1 year since I last took part in FOSCAMUN as a delegate. So, my delegation would like to start by thanking you all for this marvelous work that you have done during these 4 days. When I applied to be Secretary General, I could just about imagine how FOSCAMUN was eventually going to be like. But after 9 months, I can say without a doubt that this is the best decision I've ever made. This experience has taught me so much in its difficulties, but also at the funny moments. I am proud of seeing you all after the work you have done. I noticed that you, delegates and chairs, have created strong bonds, and you seem to have understood the essence of FOSCAMUN, building connections internationally. 1 week is not enough to get to know each other, but I don't know how you managed to create a wonderful group. I have to compliment the ones who have received a prize for their capacities, intelligence, and creativity during the debate. Unfortunately, we could not give a prize to everyone, but Giovanni and I are extremely proud to see that you all have contributed in your own way to debate, to reach your common solution and understanding the main values of this project. Most of all, I should thank the international students and, of course, their teachers who have accepted to take part in FOSCAMUN 2024. Our school is a special school in Italy. We study ancient Greek and Latin. One of the most important values in ancient Greece was hospitality. I think that being here with you, international students and teachers, is turning that value in concrete reality. I also have to thank the headmaster, Miss Artusi. I believe, and I hope, that she was touched by the energy of FOSCAMUN, which is the motor of the project since 2014. Thanks to the members of the organization team, the teachers, the fundraising and public relations team, and in particular, Asia Bevezan, the Junior General Coordinator, Matilde Olga Tesler, the head of organization, and last but not least, my Deputy Secretary General, Giovanni Frascini. I also need to thank my family for supporting me throughout this year. I know it was not easy, but I also know that you are the first to understand how much this project means to me. Thanks also to the chairs. You have done a wonderful job. Managing with 100 delegates is not easy, and without your help, it would have been impossible for Giovanni and me to reach this amazing result. We only assigned one Best Chair prize, but believe me, I'm honored to have worked with you all. Lastly, I need to thank the people who believed in me at first and voted for me to be the Secretary General. Many of them are in this church right now, and I want to tell you that you have gifted me with one of the best experiences in my life. This year, we reached an important milestone, the 10th edition. FOSCAMUN 2024 is about to end, but the second decade of our project is about to begin. And to return to the values of ancient Greece, I pass the torch on to the next Secretary General, who will come from among you students in the third class. Wishing you an amazing FOSCAMUN 2025, I declare FOSCAMUN 2024 officially closed.